You've won championships, so you know how difficult it is. We just left the locker room of a non-playoff team where player after player came out and said, we have a good group here, we have a good team. They don't seem to understand that they don't have a good group and they don't have a good team. How do you make them understand the work that needs to go in to being a champion?
Well, I think you look to make improvements. I do like a lot about this group. They're from an outsider looking in, and there's some really good pieces that a lot of teams would covet. A lot of other people would. There are other situations certainly that if Tim had knocked on my door and said, "Come take this over," I might hesitate. There's some great aspects to this team. I think that obviously on any team, whether you didn't succeed or even had a lot of success, there are going to be changes every single year. Whoever wins the Stanley Cup this year, they will sit around afterwards and sit in the locker room. They'll be a lot happier, but they won't be bringing back the same group. So I think that you start by looking for ways to improve them in small increments. And if you have an opportunity to make improvements, you make them.
Brendan, Adam Pro from the Hockey News. Just curious, you came from a couple organizations that have been historically pretty great at developing and drafting players. This organization doesn't have that history, at least in recent memory. How crucial is it going to be for you to really ramp up the production that you get from your scouts?
Wow, I don't think I would be unique in saying that scouting is very important. I'd also like to remind people that I was around, you know, when I first arrived in Detroit, they were not referred to and talked about the way that they are now. They were the team that disappointed. They questioned the team's leadership, whether or not they could win the big one. So I'm just saying, sometimes success is around the corner. You know, you make some tweaks, you make some changes, you develop, you build, but you have to earn that as a player. And I think as a team and as a player, what you want to be able to do is just put yourself in a position where you're one of the teams year after year that has the potential to win. You need all the other things that go in place, breaks and luck and health and things like that. But what you have to do is you have to build an organization and a team that at least is in a position where they're one of the teams contending.